Characteristics of bacteria. For thousands of years, people did not understand what caused disease. They did not understand the process of decomposition or what happened when food spoiled. It wasn't until the later half of the 17th century that Antony van Leeuwenhoek, a Dutch merchant, discovered the world of bacteria. Leeuwenhoek observed scrapings from his teeth using his simple microscope. Although he didn't know it at that time, some of the tiny swimming organisms he observed were bacteria. After Leeuwenhoek's discovery, it was another 100 years before bacteria were proven to be living cells that carry on all the processes of life. Where do bacteria live? Bacteria are almost everywhere in the air, in foods that you eat and drink, and on the surfaces of things you touch. They are even found thousands of meters underground at great ocean depths. A shovelful of soil contains billions of them. Your skin has about 100,000 bacteria per square centimeter, and millions of other bacteria live in your body. Some types of bacteria live in extreme environments where few other organisms can survive. Some heat-loving bacteria live in hot springs or hydrothermal vents, places where water temperature exceeds 100 degrees Celsius. Others can live in cold water or soil at 0 degrees Celsius. Some bacteria live in very salty water, like that of the Dead Sea. One type of bacteria lives in water that drains from coal mines, which is extremely acidic at a pH of 1. These are the three different types of shapes of bacteria. This is coccus, bacillus, and spirillum. Comes in kind of a spiral form. This comes in a rod-like shape, and the other shape is just this circular kind of cluster shape. Okay. This is an example of a basic bacteria cell. And it's usually about the size of some of the organelles found inside other cells. So it's very, very small. These little dots are the ribosomes. The liquid inside is the cytoplasm. This long band is a chromosome. It's kind of in a capsule of like gelatin. This is the cell wall outside of the cell membrane, right? And then this is a flagellum. Flagellums are pretty cool. They actually help the cell move, kind of like a whip-like tail, and kind of propels how it moves. So, the structure of bacterial cells. Bacteria normally have three basic shapes: spheres, rods, and spirals, just like what we saw here. Spheres, rods, spirals. Sphere-shaped bacteria are called cocci, singular coccus. Rod-shaped bacteria are called bacilli, singular bacillus. And spiral-shaped bacteria are called spirilla, and singular spirillum. Bacteria are smaller than plant or animal cells. They are one-celled organisms that occur alone or in chains or groups. A typical bacterial cell contains cytoplasm surrounded by a cell membrane and a cell wall. Bacterial cells are classified as prokaryotic because they do not contain a membrane-bound nucleus or other membrane-bound internal structures called organelles. Most of the genetic material of a bacterial cell is in its one circular chromosome found in the cytoplasm. Many bacteria also have smaller circular piece of DNA called a plasmid. Ribosomes are also found in a bacteria's cell's cytoplasm. Let's look at that again. So in here, we have the chromosome, and around the chromosome is where we have the genetic material. All right, some bacteria, like the type that causes pneumonia, have a thick gelatin-like capsule around the cell wall. A capsule can help protect the bacterium from other cells that try to destroy it. The capsule, along with hair-like projections found on the surface of many bacteria, also can help them stick to surfaces. Some bacteria also have an outer coating called a slime layer. Like a capsule, a slime layer enables a bacterium to stick to surfaces and reduces water loss. Many bacteria that live in moist conditions also have whip-like tails called flagella to help them move. So if they actually don't have flagella, they use air currents, so like wind or water, to carry them around, or they stick to things like clothing or fur. Reproduction. We've just dealt with sexual and asexual reproduction, and bacteria do actually both. So bacteria usually produce by fission. Fission is a process that produces two new cells with genetic material identical to each other and that of the original cell. It is the simplest form of asexual reproduction. However, right here, some bacteria exchange genetic material through a process similar to sexual reproduction, as shown over here. Two bacteria line up beside each other and exchange DNA through a fine tube. The results in cells with different combinations of genetic material than they had before the exchange. As a result, the bacteria may acquire variations that give them an advantage for survival. So, some bacteria obtain food in a variety of ways. Some make their food, and others get it from the environment. Bacteria that contain chlorophyll or other pigments make their own food using energy from the sun. Other bacteria use energy from chemical reactions to make their food. Bacteria and other organisms that can make their own food are called producers. Sixth grade term, right? Most bacteria are consumers. They do not make their own food. Some break down dead organisms to obtain energy. Others live as parasites of living organisms and absorb nutrients from their hosts. All right, that's it for the reading today.